Hello, my name is Lachlan Kirk, and I'll be talking to you about the samurai, women in the shogunate period, foreigners in Japan, and art and music. The samurai was originally called a vassal, which means related by blood, but as the need for more vassals came, nobles started employing samurais. Samurai means a person serving a noble. All samurais and vassals learned a warrior code called Bushido. Bushido includes archery, the spear, fencing, horse riding, military strategy, use of firearm, and techniques of jiu-jitsu. The samurai code means to be loyal and obedient, fend to the death, and die in honor of your noble and family. Samurai studied the way of Buddhism, which helps a samurai adopt an attitude of carelessness through the control of the mind and body. Buddhism is a special meditation technique that helps a warrior not be confused in battle by thoughts or feelings, and so they know what to do. When a boy is young, at about the age of 3, there is a special ceremony where he is given a sword to train with until he's older. From a very young age, boys are taught archery, the spear, fencing, horse riding, military strategy, use of firearm, and techniques of jiu-jitsu. Most boys are taught by their fathers or elder samurais to become a professional warrior. Women in ancient Japan are required to show courage and honor like a samurai. The most important aspect of education for girls is to be a faithful wife and mother to a samurai. Most of the women and girls of ancient Japan couldn't read. Only about 10% of women could read or write, as their husbands taught them basic literacy. Women were housemaids and had to be loyal to their husbands or else they could be killed. Women were also slaves to their husbands and were expected to perform in theatre and entertain to earn extra money. Women were not allowed to go to court or special occasions as they were not thought to be important. Women were only allowed to go to special occasions if they were very important or if they were getting married. These days, women in Japan are treated with respect and are not expected to be a slave to their husbands. Loyalty is very important, however. They will not be killed for breaking trust or being disrespectful to their husband. The Tokugawa shogun pursued the isolation of Japan from the rest of the world. People in Japan were only allowed very little contact with people in other countries, such as Dutch and China. The Tokugawa shogun only allowed trading through the port of Nagasaki. The traders were only allowed on the mainland of Japan once a year. At this time, they would give presents to the emperor, in turn allowing them to keep trading at the port. The emperor's prize scholars taught themselves Dutch so they could read the books from the Dutch traders. The Chinese and Dutch traders brought with them new technology, medicines, science information, and different foods. An American sailor named Commodore Matthew Perry threatened Japan to allow trade with America. Commodore Matthew Perry stated America would use military force if Japan refused to trade with America. The Emperor of Japan was afraid that the American Navy would come back and destroy Japan, so he upgraded fortifications around the harbour of Nagasaki. When the American Navy arrived, they brought with them double the amount of warships. Commodore Matthew Perry then spoke with the Emperor of Japan, who agreed to allow trade with America. Once Commodore Matthew Perry achieved this goal, Russia, France, and Britain then did the same. All the while, the Emperor agreed because he didn't want to start a war. As more traders started to come to Japan, the Emperor opened more ports, which led to more people going to the mainland. When the Japanese population found out, they took to the streets in riot. This caused half of Japan to be fighting the other half, which led to complete and utter chaos. Musicians and artists practiced and aimed for perfection in every creation or song. They believed their skills were sacred. Artists believed that if they treated their tools and materials with respect and gave thanks to the completion of a portrait, then the next creation would be just as good. All different crafters believed that if they practiced while creating the artwork, it would have its own spirit. There are a number of different arts in Japan, such as blacksmithing, pottery, painting, calligraphy, and lacquer, which is a protective coating that has different colours, just to name a few. Most of the paintings in ancient Japan use crushed up minerals for colour. The pictures serve as warnings to live a good and fair life, as most creations represented demons and people suffering in hell. Artists were renowned for their perfect portraits of nobles and emperors. Calligraphers used a traditional pointed brush and were renowned for their beautiful handwriting. In modern Japan today, they still hold calligraphy writing competitions. Lacquer is made from tree sap with different pigments of colour and was used because once it dried it was glossy, shiny and very hard. Lacquer is put on women's jewellery boxes as well as other items made for women. Some jewellery boxes have flowers, leaves, grass or engravings on them, whereas richer people had pearl shells, gold and silver sprinkles put in the sap. Most potters put a glaze on the pots and pans so that the water wouldn't be polluted by the minerals in the pots or cups. Music was originally played with drums and flutes. As music became popular, it was played in court and was called court music. Most of the original instruments are very rare to be seen at a live performance today. However, music is still quite popular in modern Japan. Even though all these things happened hundreds of years ago, Japan still utilises these skills. A lot of these sacred traditions have led to the success of modern Japan and a well-structured society. The bravery of the samurai has contributed to the Japanese staying under control of Japan till this very day.